Welcome to this exciting video where we explore the top 3 most valuable Washington quarter-dollar coins that have become legendary among collectors. These quarters may look like everyday change, but a few rare dates and special varieties are worth thousands, and sometimes even more, because of their scarcity and historical importance. Let's get started. First up, the 1974 Washington quarter dollar. This particular coin was struck without a mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and we'll be focusing on an example found in circulated condition. As you pick up a circulated 1974 Washington quarter, the first thing you'll notice is the honest wear across its surface. The smooth areas, light scratches, and softened details tell a story of years spent moving through everyday commerce. The Washington quarter design has been a familiar sight since its introduction in 1932, and by 1974 it was already a deeply established symbol of American currency. This coin represents the mid-1970s, a period rich with cultural and economic change. On the obverse of the coin, George Washington's profile remains the central focus. In circulated condition, the finer hair strands and facial contours show wear, yet the portrait remains strong and recognizable. The absence of a mint mark on this quarter indicates it was struck in Philadelphia. During this era, Philadelphia did not use a mint mark on circulating coins, making no mint mark an identifying feature. Above Washington's head, the word Liberty arcs along the rim. Even with circulation wear, the lettering usually stays clear, though the edges may appear softened. To the left of Washington's portrait is the motto "In God We Trust." On circulated examples, this phrase often remains readable, though it may show light smoothing or small contact marks. The date 1974 appears below the portrait, anchoring the coin firmly in its historical moment. On circulated coins, the digits can show wear but are typically still bold and legible. Turning the coin over reveals the classic reverse design featuring a proud eagle with outstretched wings. This iconic image defined the Washington quarter for decades. In circulated condition, the eagle's feather details are often worn down, especially on the highest points of the wings and breast. Even so, the overall shape remains impressive. The eagle stands atop a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and national defense. On worn coins, the arrows may blend together slightly, but their presence is unmistakable. Below the arrows are olive branches, representing peace. Circulation wear can soften the leaves, yet the symbolism remains clear and meaningful. United States of America curves across the top of the reverse. The lettering tends to hold up well over time, staying readable even on heavily circulated pieces. Just beneath the eagle is the motto "E pluribus unum," a phrase meaning, out of many, one. On circulated coins, the letters may be thinner or less sharp but still identifiable. At the bottom of the reverse, the denomination quarter dollar completes the design. Even with wear, this text often remains bold and easy to read. The 1974 Washington quarter is part of the copper-nickel-clad era, introduced in 1965. This composition replaced silver and gave the coin greater durability for circulation. In circulated condition, the coin may show a dull gray tone or slight discoloration from years of handling. These surface changes are natural and reflect the coin's life in circulation. Although the 1974 quarter without a mint mark is common, it remains an important piece for collectors assembling date and mint mark sets of Washington quarters. Collectors often appreciate circulated coins because they show real-world use. Each mark and scratch is evidence of the coin's journey through countless transactions. While most circulated 1974 quarters are worth face value, they can still be interesting to search for minor errors, such as die cracks or off-center strikes. The reeded edge of a circulated quarter may show flattening or nicks, but the ridges usually remain visible and help confirm the coin's authenticity. Holding a 1974 quarter can evoke memories of the 1970s, a decade marked by major social changes, economic challenges, and shifting cultural trends. This coin would have been used during a time of rising inflation, changing fashions, and evolving technology, making it a small artifact of that era. For new collectors, a circulated 1974 Washington quarter is a great learning tool. It helps illustrate how designs wear over time and how to identify mint marks. Studying this coin also highlights the difference between silver-era quarters and modern clad issues, both in weight and appearance. Despite its modest value, the 1974 quarter holds historical significance as part of the long-running Washington quarter series. Many collectors enjoy preserving circulated coins as they are, appreciating their authenticity rather than seeking perfect examples. The classic eagle reverse design, seen on this coin, would remain in use for decades before eventually giving way to newer styles. As the years pass, even common coins like the 1974 Washington quarter become more interesting as relics of everyday American life. Every circulated coin has passed through countless hands, and this quarter is no exception. It quietly participated in the daily rhythm of the nation. Exploring a coin like this reminds us that history isn't only found in museums. Sometimes, it's right there in our pockets. Next up, the 1990 Washington quarter dollar, a familiar yet fascinating coin from modern American circulation. In this video, we'll be focusing on the 1990 quarter struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark, and found in circulated condition. As you hold a circulated 1990 D Washington quarter in your hand, the first thing you'll notice is the visible wear that comes from years of everyday use. Light scratches, softened high points, and subtle discoloration all tell the story of a coin that has traveled widely. The Washington quarter series has been a mainstay of U.S. coinage since 1932, and by 1990 its design was deeply ingrained in American culture. This coin represents a time just before major changes would reshape the quarter's appearance. On the obverse, George Washington's profile remains the centerpiece of the design. In circulated condition, the hair details and facial features are slightly worn, but the portrait remains clear and dignified. The D Mint mark appears to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon, confirming the coin's origin at the Denver Mint. Denver produced a large number of quarters in 1990, making this coin common in circulation. Above Washington's head, the word Liberty curves along the rim. Even with circulation wear, the lettering usually stays legible, though it may appear smoother at the edges. To the left of the portrait is the motto "In God We Trust." On circulated examples, this inscription remains readable, though it may show minor flattening or small contact marks. The date 1990 is positioned below Washington's portrait. In circulated condition, the numbers can show light wear, but they typically remain bold enough to be easily identified. Turning the coin over reveals the traditional reverse design featuring a powerful eagle with outstretched wings. This classic image defined the Washington quarter for more than 6 decades. In circulated condition, the eagle's feathers are often worn at the highest points, especially on the wings and chest. Despite this, the overall form of the eagle remains strong. The eagle stands on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness. On a circulated coin, the arrows may blend together slightly, yet their shape is still visible. Beneath the arrows are olive branches, representing peace. Wear may soften the leaves, but the symbolism remains intact and recognizable. United States of America arcs across the top of the reverse. Circulation wear may smooth the tops of the letters, but the text remains clear. Just below the eagle appears the motto E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. Even with wear, this phrase is usually legible on circulated coins. At the bottom of the reverse, the denomination quarter dollar completes the design. The lettering often holds up well, even after years of use. The 1990 D Washington quarter is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure, introduced in the mid-1960s. This durable composition allowed the coin to withstand heavy circulation. In circulated condition, the coin may show a dull gray tone, light dirt buildup, or subtle toning. These surface changes are normal and reflect years of handling. Although the 1990 D quarter is common, circulated examples like this still play an important role in understanding everyday American coinage of the late 20th century. Collectors often appreciate circulated coins because they offer a tangible connection to daily life. Each mark represents a transaction or moment in time. While most circulated 1990 D quarters are worth face value, some collectors search for minor errors, such as die cracks, weak strikes, or off-center designs. The reeded edge of a circulated quarter may show slight flattening or nicks, but the grooves are usually still visible and distinct. Holding a 1990 quarter can bring back memories of the era, from early personal computers to changing music and fashion trends. This coin circulated during a period of economic transition and technological growth, making it a small but meaningful artifact of its time. For new collectors, a circulated 1990 D Washington quarter is an excellent example for learning how wear affects coin details. Comparing circulated coins to higher-grade examples helps collectors develop an eye for grading and condition assessment. The Washington quarter design seen on this coin would soon be replaced by the state quarters program in 1999, marking the end of a long tradition. Because of this, coins like the 1990 D serve as reminders of the classic quarter design that many people grew up using. Even though it's not rare, the 1990 D Washington quarter in circulated condition carries historical and educational value. Every circulated coin has passed through countless hands, quietly participating in everyday life across the nation. Exploring coins like this encourages us to look more closely at the change we often overlook. Next up, the 1982 Washington quarter dollar. In this video, we'll focus on the Denver Mint issue with the D Mint mark, found in a blackened circulated condition that gives the coin a unique and aged appearance. As you first look at a black circulated 1982 D Washington quarter, the dark tone immediately stands out. This black coloration usually comes from years of exposure to dirt, oils, moisture, and environmental conditions during circulation. The Washington quarter series has been part of American coinage since 1932, and by 1982 the design was already familiar to generations of Americans. This particular year holds special interest for collectors. On the obverse, George Washington's portrait remains the focal point. In circulated condition with dark toning, the finer hair details may be muted, but the overall portrait is still clearly recognizable. The D Mint mark appears to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon, confirming that this quarter was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint produced a significant number of quarters in 1982. Above Washington's head, the word Liberty arches along the rim. On blackened circulated coins, the lettering may blend slightly into the dark surface, yet it usually remains readable. To the left of the portrait, the motto "In God We Trust" can be seen. On a dark-toned coin, this phrase may appear subdued but still identifiable upon closer inspection. The date 1982 sits below Washington's portrait. Even on black circulated examples, the date often remains clear, anchoring the coin firmly in its historical context. Turning the coin over reveals the familiar reverse design featuring the eagle with outstretched wings. The dark surface can give the eagle a dramatic, shadowed appearance. In circulated condition, the eagle's feather details are softened, especially on the highest points. The black coloration may settle into recessed areas, emphasizing the overall shape. The eagle stands on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and defense. Even with wear and dark toning, the arrows are usually still visible. Below the arrows are olive branches, representing peace. The leaves may appear flattened or darkened, but their symbolic presence remains intact. United States of America curves across the top of the reverse. On a blackened circulated quarter, the lettering may contrast subtly against the darker background. Just beneath the eagle, the motto E Pluribus Unum can be found. On dark-toned coins, this inscription may require careful viewing to fully appreciate. At the bottom of the reverse, the denomination quarter dollar completes the design. The letters often remain visible even when the coin's surface is heavily darkened. The year 1982 is especially notable because proof sets were not officially issued by the U.S. Mint that year, adding a layer of interest for collectors of the era. Although the 1982 D Washington quarter is common in circulated condition, black-toned examples can stand out visually in a collection. The copper-nickel-clad composition of the quarter reacts over time with the environment, sometimes resulting in dark or black surfaces seen on heavily circulated coins. Collectors often debate whether such dark toning adds character or detracts from eye appeal. For many, it tells a story of long and active circulation. It's important to note that cleaning a blackened coin is not recommended. Cleaning can damage the surface and permanently reduce collector interest. Most circulated 1982 D quarters, regardless of color, remain worth face value. However, they can still be valuable as educational pieces. Some collectors search 1982 D quarters for errors, such as off-center strikes or die cracks, though major errors are uncommon. The reeded edge of a circulated quarter may show wear and darkening, but the grooves usually remain visible and textured. Holding a 1982 quarter can evoke memories of the early 1980s, a time of economic change, evolving technology, and shifting culture. This coin would have circulated during an era of cassette tapes, arcade games, and the rise of personal computers. For beginners, a black circulated quarter is an excellent example for studying toning, wear patterns, and environmental effects on coins. Comparing a dark-toned 1982 D quarter to a brighter circulated example highlights how storage and usage conditions affect appearance. Despite its modest value, this coin represents a snapshot of everyday American life in the early 1980s. The classic eagle reverse design seen here would remain in use until the end of the 20th century. Each circulated coin carries countless unseen stories, having passed through wallets, registers, and pockets across the country. Taking time to appreciate a coin like the 1982 D Washington quarter helps us see history in ordinary objects. Thank you for joining this detailed look at the 1982 Washington quarter dollar with D mint mark in black circulated condition. Keep exploring, and you'll continue to uncover the hidden stories in everyday change.